Alright. Okay, now we are recording for the meeting. And yeah, this is our agenda. Let's see if I can. Can anyone see that at all?
Yeah. Probably this way, so it's probably just like
And yeah, we'll kind of go through the bullet points on our own. It occurs to me we could we could just grab a bunch of copies of the membership agreement and go over that. They're in the box downstairs.
Did you update it?
No, the agreement hasn't changed I made some minor adjustments recently, but
We should update after today. Yeah, which we have like if you leave your stuff out after the night and you don't rent out the space.
yeah, we could put that in writing.
So what do you think it would cost to rent a table?
I don't know.
Per day, per month, per week.
I was thinking like $5 a day or something.
$5 a day is
I
kind
was thinking we would get a bunch. And
Oh, but-
everyone.
of. I mean,
Sorry.
I don't know. That's probably a lot. I mean, maybe 250.
You gotta keep the lights on.
Yeah, you gotta keep the light on. Our building's expensive.
No, I get that, but I'm eventually, if we make it cheaper, then more people will actually be inclined to rent it. So eventually, it'll actually end up being more money if you charge less.
And so renting the table is not something that we really want to encourage.
Exactly.
So
We want it to happen.
we don't really. It's like it shouldn't be happening really because people should just be cleaning the tables at the end of the day. The reason you would rent a table is if you're working on a big project that requires you to have a table and you cannot move your project in a given day.
So what do you think of $5 a day per table?
I'm thinking more like 10.
Okay.
And then, yeah,
Or like I don't know something.
Yeah, 5's not bad. Let's do 250, but you're like, oh, okay, let's
Well, but the thing is, once
Yeah.
have, like big project, then that makes more sense. I was thinking like if you're just gonna rent it for like some oddball shit, then that's really expensive. But if you're just renting
It's for when you have the big ball.
right, exactly.
Do you have one? Yeah, it's half like that. It literally has more.
Oh, no.
Doesn't even have one.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Celebrate service.
Okay. Welcome to General Meeting 3/17/21. Just gonna go over. I'm just gonna read out the bullet points really quick before we go over them. First one is what the rules are, and we're gonna go over that on here. Second is our basic finances right now. Third, clear up any confusion as to why those are the rules, or what the rules are. Clear up confusion as to why, and then make it clear that we are a community and what that mindset should look like. And then next is encourage independence within the space. We can all have a common goal or interest while also working independently. Next is code and safety standards. Next is respecting the space and what that looks like. And then in the last bullet point is monthly meetings. I think we should set a time. Yeah. Currently, we have no recurring meetings.
I mean, weekly might be nice, but.
Yeah, there was only, 2-day notice with this one?
Right, yeah, if it's weekly, that might be more consistent because things change really quickly here. It's not as slow as on the.
Yeah, I think it's important to have different scales of meetings too. Like this is a big general meeting.
Right.
Yeah, this and a weekly meeting shouldn't happen with everyone like this. That would be kind of cumbersome. But like a smaller, shorter meeting every week would make a lot of sense.
And maybe every month have a big one or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, having meetings are great and all, but like.
Well, so we're not. We're gonna do this by the bullet points to like keep organized. Try and using my facilitator personality here. So yeah, let's go with the first bullet point. It's just what the rules are, or what are the rules. So I think we should all like kind of pull this out and kind of read it together real quick. So this is the membership. Oh yeah.
Can we try not reading it out loud? I think that would help because, I mean, people have different pages and, I don't know, different sentences too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't want to do it read the whole thing. So like yeah. So this is the membership agreement. This is kind of the code of conduct. It's something everyone here has signed and agreed to before becoming a member. Right now, it's really basic. There's like not a whole lot on here, and it's really the bare minimum of what should be needed and what it is to be a member here. And like if you're not like following this agreement, then you're not functioning as a member of the community. And it's like, why are you here in that case? So yeah, we should all kind of go through this and understand it together and like clear up any questions. So does anyone want to start reading any part of it? Starting at the top.
I will. Okay, all right. Hedron Hackerspace is an inclusive bureaucracy dedicated to fostering creative development, and growth. Members are encouraged to make the space their own and contribute however they feel fits. Respect the other shops. We are close neighbors with many other creative spaces in the building that have their own needs to attend to. Our neighbors are very friendly and helpful, but if you have questions, you're encouraged to ask someone from Hedron first. We all work to keep the space healthy and enjoyable. It's important that people feel comfortable and that workspaces and tools are kept clean and usable. Everyone must pitch in on this for the space to support itself. If a member shows a pattern of failing to do this work, we might look into revoking their membership. What do you get with your membership? Access to the space anytime a facilitator is at the shop and a class isn't in the way. Access to tools, 3D printers, laser cutters, welders, art supplies, kitchenette, etc. Discounted classes. Access to the wealth of knowledge of your fellow shopmates. This is a very dynamic and communally empowering environment with lots of talented people from different backgrounds. 1 hour of one-on-one equipment training per month. A say in how the space is run. We'll host open meetings on many Thursdays. Check the calendar. Hedron aims to be a non-hierarchical bureaucracy where its members put forth their energy into the community autonomously. How much does membership cost? $40 to $80 a month. Pay what you are able scale. That's listed in that link. Monthly dues are decided with the facilitator upon signing up. Please let us know if your situation changes. You can always volunteer time to cover all or part of your dues. Once you're a member and in good standing for at least a month, you may get the door code if you've shown the ability to safely and responsibly use the space. Tool training beyond your free 1 hour per month will be $15 an hour or negotiated with a facilitator. Welders and laser cutters have an hourly to cover consumable costs. Code of conduct. Participate in an authentic and active way. In doing so, you contribute to the health and longevity of this community. Be inclusive, friendly, inviting, and helpful to those around you. Do not use tools you are not yet authorized to use. Laser cutter, welder, etc. And respect any honor systems. If you aren't sure of something, please ask. Respect shared spaces and keep them clean and usable for everyone, especially when you leave for the day. When you see others abusing the space, we encourage you to speak with those people or someone else at the space. If you damage equipment, you're responsible for paying for repairs if needed. List of unacceptable behavior: violence, threats of violence, or violent language, sexist, racist, homophobic, transphobic, ableist, or otherwise discriminatory jokes and language. Using tools or your body in an unsafe way that may hurt others or cause damage. Personal insults, particularly those related to gender, sexual orientation, race, religion, or disability. Inappropriate photography or recording. Inappropriate physical content. You should have someone's consent before touching it. Unwelcome attention. This includes intentionally making people feel uncomfortable, sexualized comments or jokes, inappropriate touching, groping, and unwelcome sexual advances. Sustained disruption of community events. Using tools you're not allowed to, especially tools from other shops in the White House. Using the space for large-scale or commercial operations that interfere with other ability to use the space fairly. Taking things from the space without checking with the facilitator and logging.
Oh, so, before we move on to the next thing, like, can we go over, like, each section, like?
Yeah, now is the question.
Yeah, that was another bullet point.
Um,
And then I had jammed in the bullet point of like of what are our basic finances right now.
No, yeah, that's.
before going to that, can we?
Should we do this?
Yeah, we should go over these.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. Can I ask first?
Yeah. Please.
So it says taking things from the space without checking with the facilitator and logging it.
Yeah.
If you notice that on the whiteboard, there's like two things. Somebody got a snowball mic and something else that Dylan got.
Yeah.
Should we like set up some type of software or whatever to manage that? So
we could do that.
we don't have to have a whiteboard?
Yeah, I think the
No, facilitators do it. You're fine.
You get accept you store or something.
yeah you can literally just ask. Like,
Yeah.
once we set that up, you can ask someone to put that on there for you too. Like if you tell me, I'd be happy to put it on.
Or we could just share it as a Google.
Well, he's saying he doesn't like computers.
We can also have a
I think it's
whiteboard.
things
We can have both.
Well, yeah,
It's, yeah, computers kind of blow sometimes.
just have a webcam constantly streaming the whiteboard.
I'm being disrupting the meeting. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, we need to laugh.
Oh, and there are classes right now, but, I mean, downstairs with the, where the old CNC was. So there was you mentioned, like, streaming, like, for workshops and stuff, video recording.
Oh yeah, yeah. We in our walkthrough we didn't mention that. So that table down there where the CNC router used to be, the empty table in the electronics room. I currently had a laptop on it and some other stuff. That area is gonna hopefully be a recording station, and we want to have weekly workshops where we invite people, or like any of us can do a video, like an instructional video or a demo project, or I just want to see that space used as a video recording space that's just always available. You just like can hit go and start recording, super easy, and it's always going to look good. Type of space, because we're gonna try and set up a weekly thing where someone does an instructional video or a demo.
So I guess that brings up the question of like, can we have like a Google Calendar or something, or you know, to sign in or
Oh, for slots.
slots? Yeah, just to make sure that we don't overlap with somebody else that was planning to work in there, you know, for slot
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah, we have those. You can just email me, or I think Chris can manage it too. Just email one of us, and you can get access to. I'll add your email to be able to access the calendar if you want to do stuff. And we should have that automated with new members, where it automatically invites people to things, or
What about the platform for setting up membership, automatic payments, and stuff like that?
yeah, that's something I'm gonna try and roll out before the end of the month.
Okay.
And that's in a different bullet point.
Okay.
So, any other questions on that? What was that?
Well, that was about classes, the first line.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and so this also changed. This agreement was written before we were giving the door code out to people. Now lots of people have the door code.
Mm-hmm.
And so that line is kind of misleading. Like, if you have a door code, you're welcome to be here 24 hours a day. That's
4 a.m. work.
But this is in a living space. This is like definitely a hacker space.
yes, that's a really important distinction.
Wait, what? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
This is not a living space.
Oh, yeah.
Although we have our access to our living room.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
in our
right.
living space. Yeah, it's a hacker space where the reason why the purpose behind it is that we're working on projects.
Yeah, this
And
isn't anyone's living room. This is like we've pooled our resources so we can have this space where we can do cool shit. And it's not, we're not pooling our resources so that one of us can like take our socks off and like take our mask off and like play video games. That's not why we're all paying dues. That's not why we're renting this space. It's not an appropriate use of space to be treating this like a living room or like a den. It's not anyone's personal den. It's a shared space that we get to do a bunch of cool shit in, and it's important we respect it in that way.
We want to be, like, I mean, obviously, like, glue has to dry and, like, things have to sit or whatever, but if you're, like, sitting around for, like, 30 hours not doing anything, then, like, perhaps either, like, clean something or think about a project, because, like, although it is cool to hang out here, like, I feel like if you're not working on a project necessarily or, like, not actively trying to be a part of the space, then
Or offer to help somebody else.
then you should be doing that or not be here at the moment, because that's the whole point. Is it's what they call a hacker space. Like, it's a space to do hacky things in, right? Whether that's 3D printing or making shelves for the welding area or whatever. Like, it's a communal space where everyone can be independent, but you should be working because that's what it's for. It's otherwise you just like sitting or trying to do
Yeah, like, are there any questions on what, like what the different spaces are for? Where it's like, I don't know how to phrase that. Like, what's that?
Oh, like this space is specifically, I mean,
Yeah, like this room right here.
we haven't talked about this space.
Well, I mean, it's right now, I mean, the only time that I really see people reason is, like, I'll come up here to eat, so I'm not in anybody else's face. It's mask up, like, I'll come eat up here, or just, like, I don't know, if I need to, like, quiet place to sit down and think about the show, be here, but, yeah.
Yeah. So that's like perfectly appropriate use of this space. Yeah. For like if you're eating in here, there's this air filter in the window. If it's a nice day, you can be in here and safely be away from people. And likewise, there's room here for you to do exercise, or if you have a meeting, you can be up here and have a meeting with someone. Like, that's all appropriate use of this space. Even this is also not something we rent specifically, so we can't be setting things up in here. If we are doing something for a day that's like anything commercial or anything,
Like class or something.
yeah, we have to pay $25 a day to rent this room if that is something that's happening.
So does that apply to, like, classes? Like, if somebody's doing a class here, do they have to pay that?
Yeah.
With people,
Yeah.
So then we should probably make it clear in, like, the membership agreement or somewhere on paper that
Yeah.
if you are willing, if you want to teach a class here, please charge people enough to at least rent the space for it, so you're not paying out of your own pocket unless you're willing to do that.
Same thing with the tables. I think that we should put that on this.
Well,
On the meeting agreement.
No, that's not, we don't want people to rent tables out. It's
Right.
supposed to be a very rare thing.
Yeah.
If we
So-
put it on it, then that's kind of encouraging people to do it, which is not something
Okay.
we do.
And it's not necessarily something that belongs on here.
Yeah, that's a,
Well, I think
Like
like,
it-
a membership agreement, like if we leave stuff out on the table at night, it's going to be moved. to the
That
locker.
belongs on here.
It's like house rules versus the guide of the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like what needs to happen, and the like saying how much it costs to rent a table is how it happens, which is like a
Yeah.
different
Uh,
thing.
Is somebody writing this down?
Well, I mean, we're recording
We're
the meeting.
Okay, well, I mean, we should write some more separate stuff that goes on the membership agreement, just so we can remember that specifically.
Yeah, that'd be good. If we had forethought. I'm not taking notes personally.
We'll remember at some point.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a big
I
issue.
mean, we're mostly brainstorming at this point.
Right.
Midori, are you taking any notes?
Or update the vision.
You do it directly.
It's like bullet points popping up on the screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's like keep reviewing any spots on here that we should clarify, or let's see, clear up any confusion as to why those are rules is the bullet point we're currently on.
Yeah, what should we do if somebody is doing some of the unacceptable behaviors?
Yeah, we don't have.
I mean, the rules list facilitators, so do we want to name who the facilitators are to go to?
Yeah, and that doesn't have a clear distinction at this stage anymore. So yeah, facilitators are people, anyone with the code, obviously the minimum, and the knowledge to and like authorization to be like letting new people in the space and be able to make sure people are safe and using tools safely, and someone who is able to like stop someone if they're about to do something unsafe. So basically, the facilitators are me, Ray, Chris. Chris is usually fairly hands off, so you'll open the door for people and let members come in. So you're a facilitator, and if someone were doing something unsafe, hopefully you would say something about it.
Also, I'm pretty sure everybody in this space understands that. Just don't be fucking paranoid about it. Don't like, just be reasonable about it. It's like, there are multiple times when, like, I personally feel like, oh shit, I probably should have said something to them, but I didn't because I didn't want to feel like an asshole. So, I'll just put that out there. Just, definitely tell somebody about it. Like, if somebody does something wrong, definitely tell somebody about it, but like, don't break them down about it. Like, don't target it at them as a person.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, this is about 2 years old. What's that?
The whole pandemic happened.
Yeah.
So there was actually, thinking back, it seemed like there was, like, there hasn't been a lot of people actively looking to become that year.
Well, we still get like 1 to 2 prospective members a month.
Yeah.
And yeah, our biggest issue with not retaining people is not having automated billing. Like honestly, if we automatically took money from people's accounts, then we would probably have many more members. Just because like people like say, yeah, I want to be a member, and then they pay cash once, and then they're like, yeah, I'll continue being a member, but then they just like forget to come in. If they like kept getting billed, they would keep coming in, and they would keep getting billed. Everyone would be happier.
And if they're getting billed and they don't come in, well,
They can get a refund, and they can cancel it at any time.
Yeah.
we have that PayPal triangle. Is there any way we could do it like via PayPal? Could we do an auto?
Yeah, PayPal allows automatic payments.
Yeah,
Not all people
I-
have PayPal though.
yeah. I'll talk about that soon. We'll talk about that in the next bullet point.
You can do it without a PayPal.
Okay, that's what I can't use it.
Same. Or not just let's say I can't use it because yeah, they stole from me.
So yeah, the facilitators are basically just me, Ray, and Chris, and then Pal. Like if you want to take that role on,
Yeah, I'm more than happy to be a facilitator.
okay, I hereby dub Pal facilitator.
I would like to work up to it, for sure. Like definitely, like.
In a lot of ways, you fit that role. What's that?
Almost like everyone here is just way.
In a way, yeah. Like if you're comfortable opening the door to let other members in, you're in some ways, yeah, you fill that role. But
And if you don't know what to do, then you forward it to someone that can.
I just need to get better with like. First of all, I need to be able to like just have a flat understanding of what can happen, what can't happen here, because like sometimes it's a little bit like it's gray area a lot, and then like also just being better at like socializing with new members, giving them tours and shit without being like too. I don't know, fast paced. Don't throw them into the space. Just be like, if you want to do this, you can do this, and then give them a tour, and then be like, hey, you want to do it or not? And then,
yeah, and thank you a lot for like you've been really on point about like giving people tours and being really helpful to new members in the past. That's been really awesome.
yeah, and then I don't know if it's, I guess it's kind of part of the bullet point because it's a bunch of rules and stuff, but like there should be definitive, like we should list it somewhere on the user or member agreement, like just what constitutes being volunteer hours or not, because like I find myself like in the limbo of like, shit, do I need to do more or do I need to do less based on like what is considered, like if I'm helping around the space, is that considered volunteer hours or should I do extra stuff out of the way like designing shirts?
Same.
Volunteer hours. Well, Jesse, you do enough shit. You buy a ton of stuff. You that counts as your volunteer hours. Versus like, I'm kind of just here, and I need to figure out like if I can crack down on being like not. My volunteer hours need to not be a question as much. It should just be like, yep, you volunteering, no problem, shit like that. So, yeah, somewhere in the agreement, there should be like maybe a small list of like stuff that counts as volunteer hours, like in the pay section, because it kind of, I've noticed that a couple members, it steered them away that it just says 40 to 80K on your own. I think we should make it more obvious that it is okay to volunteer as long as you're volunteering within the parameters.
Yeah, that used to not be the case.
Okay.
We used to not have it be possible for people to pay any less than 40.
Oh, okay.
But then it was like, well, I don't know, to make it even more accessible, I decided to open it up to allow a full. I call that being sponsored as a member.
Well, I guess that's where eventually definition will come up with finances too.
Yeah.
Since it's always changing volunteer opportunities, I think that instead of like on a whiteboard, stuff like that, we should have it on the website. That's up.
Well, it is.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have a volunteer subsection on the website.
Yeah. There's the Trello board, and it has a list of volunteers.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff on there that it's very universal. Sweeping.
Yeah.
Organizing things.
Cleaning off the 3D printing tables, blue.
But I was walking them through that process, because I remember when I first came on board, they asked me, like, not sure what areas, not much, like, actually walking through, like, where,
Uh-huh.
I mean, if I was here later, I'd be willing to like take the shop and shit and close up. Sadly, I'm not able to be here until 12:01. Cut off time. So. Yeah, hopefully.
There's a lot you can do during that time.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, when I am able to open up to being, like, once I get a car and shit, I'm able to like drive around.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You see how you drive with a scooter.
Oh yeah.
With a scooter, what do you mean? I drive just like everybody else does.
This is so true.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, hopefully, once that happens, which should be soon. I get a car in April, so I'll be able to be here longer and definitely do a lot more volunteering hours and stuff like that.
But again, this was something that we adjusted, so when it comes to this being a democracy, this is something that's open to discussion. also.
Totally. Yeah.
So,
Everything on here completely open to discussion. Like we are all this is something we're all making together. I'm just kind of the person who picks up the slack and I'm here to serve everyone here. We're all here to. What's that?
You're our voted leader.
No, not really.
No,
I'm your benevolent dictator in a way.
Yeah, everyone's open to discussion, but keep it under one page, so you don't want to get out packets.
So I just talked to Wu-Tang and Salman and Ryan about automated billing. He says he is English manager with Stripe, and also he'd be willing to talk with us in 25 minutes over to see.
Yeah, I was gonna go a different route.
Yeah.
I've already talked to him about that.
I haven't had the time to set it up. Same thing with like the Matrix server. I haven't had time to set that up.
Okay, yeah, so
Yeah,
are we done with that bullet point, or?
Well, so with volunteer, like, what constitutes volunteer hours? I mean, she like have the list of things, but then also have a way to check those off.
yeah. So
For those who do.
Maybe
so Jesse's working on the screen. Well, Jesse and Dylan are working on this screen.
okay, before we get into that, I just want to say there are major limitations to that. We're using a 0W, so you can't have anything like.
It's not going to be an issue. That's
It's
not going to be
once
an
a
issue.
minute. It's fine.
Yeah. So we'll have the screen, and it's going to have that list of all the volunteering things on it. Hopefully.
We'll
Yeah, and so that'll always be on display, and it's a Trello board that any members are able to have access to. So yeah, people can check those off and add things to it whenever they see fit.
But that be updated each week.
Well, it's live. I mean, it's constantly updated.
Yeah, it's per minute.
It's like a Google Doc. Well, they just have it on the screen.
But I mean, like, when somebody checks it off, will it show up again for the next week? Or
We
like,
can automate things in that way. Yeah,
that way?
yeah,
That
yeah.
would be
We
great.
can do that.
Like, oh, sweet.
You can't just make a bot that auto unchecks it. And
It's all built into Trello. It's awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, we should have that screen up and running. So I actually probably leave it there.
Because that also would be having the social media.
Yeah, I'm not able to work on that this week.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
Yeah.
also
Or
just have
tell me
something
to do
log their own hours. Just, OS adults, they can just write down what time you start doing something, write down what you did and what time you stopped.
Clock in, clock out.
So yeah, that's one way you could do it. Like for most people, just the honor system works. But if that's not the most functional system for a given member, we can totally do a like log hours more specifically.
That'd probably be better for me. I have a problem with the honor system shit because I end up not going to do that.
Yeah, we could definitely figure that out. And you're not the only one who would want that. So it'd be good for us to figure out for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, one more. So like the respect other shops, that was like really, really important when we first started. Because like tensions were a little higher in the warehouse.
Wasn't it still like open down there where it would like.
Well, so yeah, like one of the first things on here, it says respect the other shops, we're close neighbors, blah blah blah. That is still very true, but yeah,
It's like this part about taking other people's tools is definitely so true.
oh, that's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't use any tools outside of our space.
Yeah.
You have explicit permission from that person.
Yeah, and like if I show you how to use a tool that's not ours, that doesn't mean you get access to it necessarily. Some tools that is true, but like generally, don't assume you're like always ask before you're using tools that are not in our area, basically. And
And trash shepherds is separate from here, so just to clarify.
Okay, so
but the equipment,
I
On
mean,
the bottom.
So I guess not equipment specific for trash records, but just to clarify, like the trash record section, yeah.
Guys, yeah, like the signs up you had before. If you don't know how to use the plastic melting bullshit,
just
you
get
don't,
rid of
because
it,
you
Yeah.
break it if you don't know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
You run that cold. Oof. I
Yeah,
mean,
as is true with all sorts of equipment in the shop.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, that's something we definitely need to talk about, is making very clear what is trash records and not, because it's in the same space as heat ground shit, so it would be super easy to accidentally use something you don't realize.
Well,
it's not.
Well, and it's accessible to Hedron members, no? Like all that.
It is, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, if there are certain tools specific for the trash record
Uh-huh.
section, I mean, we'll just label it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing I want us to do too is paint the floors, paint all of the Hedron floors the same color and pattern.
I told Tori this when she ran it by me, because I don't know, it's messy final person. Do you want to do paint? Do you want to do paint or do you want to do vinyl? Paint, that means that somebody, whoever moves in after us, is gonna have to paint floors.
Yeah, let's paint it. The floor's already covered in like random
Yeah.
paint.
Right.
Yeah. I'd say we just spray paint stencil.
I can make one for you too.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, if we get a bunch of different stencils made up, like anyone here is welcome to make stencils for our floor painting party.
Just give me like a piece of like cardboard or shit.
I never vinyl.
We have laser cutters are kind of ideal.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
You know, all kinds of.
Well, vinyl cutter will definitely do
You even
that.
have a CNC machine, carver out of a launch.
But yeah, sorry. Back to what I was saying though. The metal shop is now right next to Richard's space. That
Oh, yeah.
and so we need to like extra label our tools now. We'll want to use that same color pattern and stencil pattern to make it very, very clear which tools are ours and which are Richard's, because we are like adjacent to each other, and we cannot be using Richard's tools at all.
Yeah. Don't touch it.
He-
Just,
Yeah, he like is a big part of why we're even able to be here at all. We're renting space from him right there.
he runs his business out of this, and that's how he makes his livelihood.
Yeah, and if he wasn't there, this building wouldn't be here. And if we're not respecting him, we don't get to be here. So that's the thing. He's a super nice guy. He'll like never tell you to fuck off or anything, but like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, not even that. We just want to be.
We want to be.
We want to be
tenants.
respectful.
It
Yeah, we
should
want
get to that point.
Yeah,
It
it
should not
yeah,
get
it
to the point where it would
should never do that.
We should give them a reason to.
There you go.
Any more rule question before we move on to basic finances?
Also, I want to say this is going really slow. And I'm not. We can go here for 4 hours if you want to. I'm just saying it's already been an hour and we basically got through the whole.
2.
Too.
Yeah.
Two?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Well, no, that's not one.
Two.
Clear up any questions of why those are the rules.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess that's sorry.
Yeah.
Reading down the thing.
Yes.
Yeah, we skipped it because.
Yeah, the other ones we sort of talked about a lot too.
Yeah.
There's like 3 major bullet points that we kind of got to hit.
Practices thing.
What's that?
You want to cover the building practices thing? That's pretty important.
Well, I mean, I'll just do basic finances unless anyone else has any more rule questions. Okay.
I like the idea of the one over finances.
Cool. So the
Sorry. Well, so any
Yeah.
acceptable years, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
is there a pre-structured out circle, or what sort of thing, how does that?
Yeah. What we don't have any. So historically, people who haven't followed these have been kicked out.
Oh, yeah. If you do any of these, I don't think that's a free strike.
Yeah, I was about to say this is like serious shit.
Well, not even because like on here is
Most of that is like sexual assault or sexual harassment. That's like getting the fuck out of here.
Well,
Well, I mean,
like taking things from the space.
Oh yeah.
Like everyone, like not everyone, like lots of people will be like, oh, we have 20 pairs of scissors. I can take one and not say anything. Like we literally had 20 pairs of scissors in a jar, and now I can't find scissors. Like this was like a year ago.
Oh.
So within a year, we've apparently either lost 20 pairs of scissors, or people have just decided that it was okay to take them. I mean, that's one example. Like, yeah, people take things from the space and don't say anything, and so that's something that happens. That is theft, but it's like, I don't know.
Obviously, I guess this needs to be updated too. Like, this one with sustained disruption of community events. Well, instead of events, sustained disruption of the space.
Yeah.
It's something that is it's just like wanting everybody to feel safe within the space is really important.
Yeah, sort of.
Like COVID safe is one. Making sure like if everybody, if there was an alarm, like maybe that should be brought up like, I don't know later, but like that the call for alarm came, because of what happened. I'm so sorry that happened to your family with the COVID.
Oh,
thing.
yeah. No,
But, I mean, like,
yeah.
that caused an alarm for as a fellow member, and it's like making sure everybody was
Yeah,
basically-
everybody got tested.
everybody gets tested. If you don't get tested, you're not allowed in. So I mean that should be, I don't know, that should be a given.
Okay.
That should be a given, yeah.
Yeah.
But then if they don't, if a person does not go follow through with that, then it's like,
Yes.
Well, I mean,
That's an unacceptable behavior.
That is.
But one
but
of
then is that a check off one, like,
Yeah,
of,
is it?
of
What
that,
is?
like how does that,
So one thing that wasn't, so when I was coming back to the space after that, one thing that was brought up was that I don't have the, like some people, like especially my family, don't have the luxury of just going and getting tested whenever we want. Our insurance companies won't allow us to do that. So my parents got tested and they both tested negative, and I had no symptoms for over 2 weeks. So they said it was okay for me to come back, but I never got tested because.
Yeah, but you did take the time to 2 weeks.
Right, I took the thing.
So I mean, you took safety precautions.
Yeah.
What you could do.
Yeah, I'm just saying that like if we're hard requiring people to get a test before they come
I
back,
don't know, I
it's
just
not.
like to make sure, I mean, in that
And
case.
I did. I had asked him like, well, I would like you to get the test before you come back.
Yeah.
You asked me if my family got tested twice negative. We can't do that.
Yeah.
We can't go get tested twice
But I mean,
negative.
like, making sure that we respect, because it's not just, the individual, it's everybody. It's
Right.
affecting everybody.
It is a community.
So it's
Yeah.
a community, so that's where it's like, I'm not directing it towards you.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2 weeks, I mean, that is the time spent which within, having that safe zone. But I mean, if this does come up again with anybody but here, like, how do we approach it from here on out? It's like, people either have to be tested or you have to step away for a number of weeks, like, 14,
I think
20 days,
yeah, I think so we should definitely like have some buffer room, but I think the regulation is you are non-contagious after 10 days of no symptoms or after 10 days of original symptoms. But I think we should probably just say 2 weeks to make it completely safe because if we're cutting it too close, it's just not a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, 2 weeks seems.
I like 2 weeks. That's what I kind of go by.
It's better if we're
No
not
symptoms for 2 weeks.
After like, yeah,
after original symptoms. Because if you
after.
no symptoms is like
Well,
4 weeks.
but some people like have it and like stay sick for a week.
Then yeah, well, okay, so it doesn't matter if they're still sick; they're non-contagious. They
My
stop
body's still attacking itself.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't matter if they have it or not. After 10 days after the original symptoms, they are no longer contagious to other people. It's just your immune system recouping the fact that it just got fucked up.
Well, not necessarily.
Yes. Okay, so our doctors and shit were just like, because we asked them when we go back to like doing normal things again, and they were like 10 days after original symptoms. We questioned that, obviously, because we want to be extra safe. And they said that after 10 days of original symptoms, the body's still fucking itself up pretty bad, but like it doesn't spread to other people anymore. And then, if we give it 2 weeks, that's
That's
way
the
too
actual
much.
CDC guidelines.
That's like
Yeah,
that's
but
kind of extra space.
if you're sick at all, then anyway, then you still need to.
True.
Right. I mean, that's more of a personal thing. It's like, yeah, if you're feeling sick, just fucking don't do it. That's just
Yeah.
like not a good idea. But yeah, COVID regulation wise, that's 2 weeks is definitely enough.
I'm still kind of mad that I'm at home. I just feel like I'm always sick.
But it's not COVID, right?
Yeah, and it's not COVID.
Right.
You're like, oh yeah, wait 2 weeks. I waited like 3 or 4 and still had the symptoms. And I was like, okay, well obviously something else is up.
Right.
And I get out and about, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about. So like some people are like if your body isn't able to fight off the infection well enough. I'm not. I don't know that you. I don't really believe like if you're actively still producing the virus within your body, you're still contagious. Like so, as far as I'm concerned, it should be 2 weeks after you stop having any of the primary symptoms.
Yes, yeah.
Like there's secondary symptoms that last.
Like
That's fine.
fatigue and shit, right? But like
Well, no, if it's
fatigue, well, no, it like lingers. Like my dad is still like if he goes out and rides his bike or some shit, he's like not at 100% because it's still there a little.
sure, yeah,
Yeah, that lasts like a year.
Yeah,
It's
it takes a
ridiculous.
while.
yeah, but like all of the primary symptoms, like coughing and all like whatever.
It's like coughing, heaviness in lungs, not being able to breathe as much, sore throat, shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
any of those, like you're still. I think it should start. The 2 weeks should start at the end of symptoms like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
What if
saying.
you tested negative after that?
Yeah.
Well, some people will test negative while they're sick,
True.
just because their immune systems are good.
Also, like after, yes, people, even after 5 days.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
Then, and then they could be tested again, and then.
and then
it
come
would-
positive later.
How about we
And
require?
take one type of test and it's negative, and another type of test and it's positive.
How about
Because they were sick the whole time.
That's where the concern is, like, even within that time frame, the
Yeah.
2 weeks time frame.
I mean, we could just require like a week after testing negative. That's pretty safe. I mean, if you're tested negative, don't have any symptoms, and you're waiting an extra week, that's like as much precaution as you should take, realistically.
Yeah.
No, it's still a chance development.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
always
paid
get
for
free
by the
tests.
state.
They're
Yeah.
available.
Like I went to the fucking
Good
ER on
morning.
82nd. It was free. So,
Yeah, they're always available regardless of your insurance status.
Yeah.
That's not really an excuse for anyone.
Yeah,
Oh.
fine.
No, because they don't let you come back and test again for 3 months.
Yeah, because why would they?
If you don't have insurance, if you test with them and you don't have insurance, you can't come back for 3 months.
Yeah, because otherwise people are just going to keep coming back because they're
Well, but that's kind of fucked up though. It's like there's
there's like half a dozen places that'll do it.
Yeah.
Right.
It took me like 15 minutes to find a place
And that's
to get tested.
and it's not Hedron's responsibility to
Yeah.
figure that out for people. That's everyone else's responsibility. Like we've all helped each other out during that time to try and do that. But like it's everyone's responsibility to get tested in those cases.
Yeah. Part of wanting to be a part of the community is making sure it's safe, i.e. if you don't think that you are safe to be around people, then just don't.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so,
have to sacrifice your makerspace for the safety of everyone else. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and people coming into the space need to feel safe. Like, and they're not going to feel safe if.
Somebody's coughing and hacking.
Well, yeah, or they hear that someone came back before they got tested.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, well then maybe everyone's doing that.
and it's like, that's
You
so
can't.
unfair.
That should be no question at all.
I mean, this happened when you were sick, last year, people, which was like, you cannot come back, so you did come back.
Yeah, you were kind of vacant for a while. I didn't realize why.
Yeah.
Well, I had
Mail-in tests.
Yeah, you're not here for 2 weeks.
No, but it was before.
Oh, before? Okay.
which time? I don't know. There were two different.
So,
years I had.
so first, okay, so COVID symptoms, if you have COVID symptoms, let members know. Everyone needs to get tested. If you test negative, stay away for 5 days.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
And then after symptoms subside, continue to stay away for 14 days.
Yeah. If you ever tested positive, then
2 weeks without symptoms, if you tested positive.
yeah.
Maybe if you test negative.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, I guess just say a week, because 5 days is kind of like.
I mean, 5 days is fine too.
Next time.
Yeah, and consequences if people don't do that. Like what?
I don't know.
Like that is an
That's a
unacceptable
huge
behavior.
strike.
We don't have, or like, yeah, the only consequence we have in place is you're not a member anymore.
Well, is there any other consequence for people even give people?
Well, this is
You're
not,
not accepted to the property anymore.
well, I mean, yeah, this is like something people voluntarily come into.
Yep.
And they put their money in and so forth.
It's hard because it's like, I mean, would it be like a month membership? Like, or a month, that month, you're not allowed that?
Well, if they're willing to do that. I think it's still a case by case basis, but like it's still a serious offense. So maybe they're not allowed to come back. Period. But if they're willing to endanger other people,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah, so for most of the people, it is a permanent ban. So I've had to cook out a number of people from the space for similar reasons. One of the people I said you can come back in a year because it was more behavioral issues, and it was like, yeah, I don't know, but then yeah, the other people they were like flagrantly ignoring rules, and yeah, I said they can never come back, and yeah, like one guy was working on lithium batteries in an unsafe way, and like argued with me for 2 hours and just like would not listen. And so I said, okay, you're gone. And yeah, another person was violent and talked like about doing violent things.
And I mean, yeah, and I just want to put it out there that I'd like to at least not say some shit. I'm not like that. Like if Jesse says some dumb shit to me, like, it's for your windows. It's for your windows.
yeah, I do see that a lot.
Yeah, and this is worth bringing up too, like feeling safe and comfortable in a space. Like I mean, this goes back to the membership agreement.
Yeah.
Or earlier bullet point, like everyone should feel like they can express themselves in this space in a safe way. It's important that we aren't being like we aren't encouraging an atmosphere of making fun of each other or like yeah, being broy, or to where it's like not, it doesn't feel like you can express yourself and share ideas. It's like it's one thing to just like be chilling and like everyone has their different ways of communicating. That's fine, but like it is important we have a baseline of not.
So here's an example. Don't make it a public school environment. Don't do that. Because then public school, don't make it a public school environment. Don't make it like in public school, you try to say some shit to somebody, and most of the time they're just gonna be like, shut the fuck up, don't talk. Like that, don't do that. Like make sure that it's an open community and everybody can just make sure people feel like they can talk to you. Like just make sure that if somebody has something they want to say to you, just make sure that those people are friendly enough with you that they're not gonna not say something that they should say just because they're afraid to talk to you. Don't do that. Because that's the worst. That's the worst thing you get.
I mean, it's a funny balance because like coming into this space, it is rather furry.
Yeah.
Like not just for myself, but I heard from two other people who both were guys. So it's like, oh, there's a furry atmosphere at times, and it's hard to, or it's unusual. It's interesting to navigate that. And I don't know how to approach that really.
I mean, yeah, first of all, like, so I don't know exactly what we're talking about because, like, if there was no example in that, so, like, if you're just saying it's a real environment, we don't know how to change that necessarily because we don't know what's wrong. Like, because if there is something specifically wrong, like, you know, if somebody is,
Well, I think of an example.
Yeah.
Sometimes they play like really stupid music.
Oh yeah.
yeah, sure, but that's not like,
Well, but it could be.
yeah,
I'm playing a song which goes face down, ass up. That's the way we like it.
That song.
95 decibels. Yeah, that contributes to the overall environment.
And hearing it from the other space, like, with, what is it, like hearing a lot of, well, I guess that example brings up like, a lot of male like voices like rising and then like hearing it from other spaces. You know, it travels, it really just travels.
I guess, but I mean, yeah.
You want to make an inclusive environment.
I mean,
Yeah, and it doesn't feel accessible to someone who isn't your friend. Like if some other member came in who you didn't know very well, maybe they're a quieter person, and everyone is like massively filling the space with their energy and laughter, and it's like you don't feel like you're in on the, even if everyone means well and is friendly,
Everybody's super friendly.
but you're not necessarily in their bubble yet. Like you just met, but this is happening, and you just came into this, and it doesn't feel accessible to you because you're new or whatever, and maybe you're not new, and you've been in this space a while, and it's just you don't vibe with specific people in the same way that they're filling the space, and it's like, so what do? Like you don't feel comfortable in that space because it's being filled by others already, so you don't really have room.
Okay, but I feel like I agree with a lot of that, but like there's definitely some problems with that. Like in fact, like are you just saying we should just like not talk to each other loud, or should we just like just stop laughing, or like, because I feel like preventing that, it's sort of, people can take that as just like, okay, just stop talking to each other, and then it becomes a depressed environment. Because like, I mean, there should be something definitive that we should change. It shouldn't just be like give a blanket example of like people's energy filling the space like that. Okay, that kind of makes sense, but like, how do we combat that?
You've got kind of a black hole of an issue here where it's like it's hard to observe the thing directly, but you can definitely see these stars moving by really fast. Like that star shouldn't be moving that fast.
Yeah.
That's kind of like an analogy that I feel like you're pointing at an issue, and to you it being growing like kind of feels like your way of describing it, but it's hard like for other people to wrap their head around that, and it's in my head that's kind of like a lot like a black hole. Like you're trying to describe a black hole to somebody, and well, yet it's a thing that can take time to build up an understanding
Absolutely.
of your definition of being growing.
Absolutely.
And so you have to keep, so as time goes on, might not be able to clarify it here today, but as time goes on, we keep pointing out these stars that, as like in my analogy, these stars that are whizzing by that spot really fast, and there's nothing, what seems like nothing there. You just have to keep pointing it out over time as it.
Yeah, I just kind of don't understand what you're saying. I mean,
I mean, we could make a rule called like where it's like don't play, because like we share the space with so many other people, right? So I don't know which one it is, but one of those plugs makes it so you play music throughout the entire fucking house. And personally, I fucking hate that. I have noise canceling headphones for that exact reason. I hate loud noises so much. I don't mind it because like I play my music really loud, but I do it in my earphones. But
Yeah.
like anything,
But I think if you really wanted to listen to that music, you could put headphones on. I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah.
The person who's playing that could be putting headphones on to listen to this.
so like we can make a rule called like if you can hear it from outside your space, and it's not a machine, but it's just some music, don't play it unless you are literally the only one in the warehouse. But
Yeah.
but like we don't want to have to do that. Like people should just know to respect it because it's the space that everyone is in. So if someone outside of the space can hear it, they can agree to it.
that's a little unfair though. Because
So what about music earphones where bands come to practice and things like that? You can hear that through the entire building.
the walls are thin as shit here. Like, I mean, honestly, if you were to go to some other place, some other warehouse where it's like concrete walls everywhere, and you talk at the same amount of level here as you do anywhere else, it will travel to the other side of the fucking warehouse here, even if you're not doing anything extra.
Those are kind of different issues.
They're never different.
It's like a lot different than blasting music.
No, I'm getting that, but you're saying like that wasn't necessarily aimed at just music. I was saying that like the whole, you're talking about the environment is too growy or there's too many people that are filling the space with their energy type shit. It's just like that is amplified by the fact that you can hear things from pretty much anywhere in this place.
Well, do you hear me and Midori laugh to each other when we're not in the same area as you?
Or like something like that.
Sure, just out in the warehouse.
I can hear people
It's like
I can hear
around
people
you.
walking around.
Just downstairs.
Yeah, say we were in the hallway. We were
Yeah, I
laughing.
can probably. Yeah, I hear people walking around in these rooms all the time, and they're not like stomping on the floor.
Well, like for example, I can hear you and Jesse laugh to each other while I'm standing out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty,
It's like
pretty loud.
it's like an order of magnitude different.
The energy is different.
And it's joyful,
Yeah.
but it's like okay, well that's their space over there.
I mean, how do we come back? We just stop laughing. Like, 'cause some people like, I'm not. And Jesse, if you can correct me if I'm wrong about this, because I don't want to speak on you as a person, but like, he naturally laughs louder than some. Like it's.
I'm obnoxiously loud laugh. I know that.
And that's the thing is that like, do we want to make it like that's a problem? Because
Well,
Inside voices.
Yeah, like inside, like
Yeah.
that's a basic thing.
Or, we haven't, like Chuck E. Cheese has that rule. Like,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, you're inside a shared space. Respected as such.
can I add to the COVID thing? Just keeping masks on at all times downstairs and eating and drinking would happen up here.
Yes, yeah, that's a new thing.
Yeah, if we want to make it no eating.
If we want, yeah, do we want to? I mean, I would really like this rule that we just say no more eating and drinking down in the two shared rooms down there, because like we've tried.
A number of members who have voiced concern, they don't want to hang out, they don't want to work down there.
There's no, yeah,
It's very tight.
they just stopped coming down to that space because there were always people down there with their masks off because they were eating or whatever. So they're just not coming anymore.
So that's not,
good
yeah, it's
concern.
not an encouraging atmosphere as far as members.
Yeah, it is very tight up there, so that does make sense. I agree with that.
Yeah, and like in the future, if we wanted to really, if it became an issue, we could make a person limit in rooms.
Well, we have one. Yeah, so there was 2 in the CNC room. That's probably maybe 3 now because there's like twice as much floor space. And then it was 2 or 3 in the other room, and then it was
I would say two in the CNC room and 3 in.
that's what it was before.
it's the main space, so you gotta at least have 2 people, because that's kind of unfair if you're just like, if somebody's trying to work, but there's also 2 other people in there doing something together.
Welcome to COVID.
Yeah, well, I mean, and so,
speed.
so fortunately, that room has a lot of good ventilation if people keep the doors open. If the doors are not open, ventilation is actually really bad and stagnant.
Yeah.
But
I guess-
we do have the filter, which is helpful, but it's still not nearly as
I know we
helpful.
close doors at night sometimes because it gets really fucking cold.
That's reasonable, and hopefully there's less people at that time too.
Yeah, but typically
And
that's
then
like midnight.
sometimes when we're trying to talk to each other in that room.
And you gotta close the door.
Something.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can't even hear each other.
totally.
talk.
Yeah, that's just something that happens. And ideally, though, we are always keeping that glass door open. 'Cause that helps with ventilation. And the CNC room has a vent in it that you can turn on. Like if there's any more than one person in that room, or even just one person in that room, it's good to just have that vent on. It sucks it out from the back of the lasers, but it still ultimately is pulling a vacuum of air in that room, and it will help encourage the air to move through the space.
Potential virus particles.
So, I mean, can you obviously make it a thing that keep masks on at all times downstairs in the heat vent space, but then if it's like outside or upstairs while eating or drinking, just like, that's when you can like take your mask off.
So that includes the plastic area in the warehouse.
Taking your mask off.
No, or
Yeah,
yeah, no. So yeah, keep your masks on. even in the metalworking area, even in the
Wait, okay. You say even in the metalworking area, what if nobody else is working? The only other people are in the main space of people.
if there's literally no one else in the warehouse and you're out in the warehouse, then I'd say that's fine.
I mean, yeah, you're
But-
basically 20 feet away from
But not down in our small enclosed rooms.
Okay.
If you're in those small rooms and there's absolutely no one around, you should still have your mask on because
Anyone could walk in.
as soon as someone walks in, they're like, "Oh, I just walked into ground zero. I might have just gotten exposed just now." It's like
We're trying to be a safe environment.
and
I mean, even if you've been vaccinated.
Well, that's not gonna happen for like a long time. Like honestly, it's gonna be like at least 3 months.
Yeah, that'll be-
space capacity.
that's a whole different.
I'm not gonna be able to get vaccinated for like 4 months. I'm not under 18. But they're like, oh well, he's from us, we don't do it. But it's like,
So
Okay, if anybody's get vaccinated, they volunteer. Let's see. I'll be
Yeah, just tattoo. I'm vaccinated.
so
I'll be right down here.
so let's just finish up.
Somebody's picking up right before it's.
Okay, cool. So can we all agree? Yeah, hopefully we're.
I would put some notes or something like a piece of paper that says this area. You
Yeah.
must wear a mask at all
we
times.
have that. We have it everywhere.
No, it's mask appreciated.
No, this is it. This is coming into a fucking place. Have the mask on, and how about we just.
That sign went up in like April or something before.
If I'm kind
before
of
it was
talking
a
to
thing.
if you're like forcing it down people's throats with signs, I'd rather just have it like mask appreciated, and then if somebody isn't, just be like, yeah, you have to wear a mask. here.
No.
No, we need to be really
We're
clear.
a year into this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're mandated by the government.
yeah,
Yeah.
like literally, we're breaking
I
the law.
think that we should put mask signs in areas
Yeah.
where we just deemed appropriate.
Yeah, so just confirm.
Yeah,
Like, can
yeah.
everyone agree that those 2 rooms down there are it's no longer okay to eat food in there at all?
Not even when you're alone.
Yeah, not even when you're in your
Yeah. Okay.
Because you can always go outside. You can come up here.
Okay. I just am so used to just like having the water that I can sip on my phone or some shit. But like, okay, I guess I'll have it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're like slipping a drink, like, and then putting your mask back on, I think
As
that's
long as
fine.
you're 6 feet away
Like-
from everybody.
Yeah, and it literally is no longer than it takes to drink. I think that's fine.
Or how about this? How about just don't fucking breathe while you're doing that? It's like, well, right.
Try to be respectful,
Right.
but definitely not like, oh, I take my mask off because I am sipping my drink for the next 5 minutes. Definitely not okay.
Yeah, I guess the reason I said it's like, oh, what's down to because I guess we have the luxury here of everybody that is a member here that isn't like anti-mask and we haven't had any problems. That's probably why
Well, we've had a lot of problems.
That's
No, I
Yeah.
mean like there's nobody here that if we ask them to wear a mask, they just flat out say no.
You have so often refused to wear your mask out of action, not out of like. So, how many times have we reminded you to wear your mask in the last month, in the last week? It should be 0. Like, it's not our job to remind anyone. If you weren't our friend, and if you weren't a younger person, you would have been kicked out of this space a long time ago. Like, I don't mean to be aggressive. Like, if you were an adult doing these behaviors, you would not be a member anymore. Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to be like extreme about that, but that's the reality.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, no more eating and drinking.
Yeah. If we can all agree on that, that'd be awesome if we put signs down there.
Yeah.
That just made it really clear.
If I'm working on final, should I confess some stuff? Yeah, because I'll be working on final for the next couple
No,
hours.
it should just be
It just
paper.
yeah, probably printed paper, and Midori has a laminator and tons of laminate sheets, so we could do that too, or even just paper, whatever.
So I would put it on the front door, and then
Oh, how long are you gonna be? gone. We don't have much more. What's that?
Oh, it's not urgent enough for like if we want. to-
Yeah, let's just finish this. Yeah, let's just finish this meeting. Basic finances right now. So
Yeah.
I want to go over. So I'll pull up our like how we did last month, which was February. Okay. So February, we took in about only $300,
Cool.
basically. So we got paid out for the big bag job we did.
How much rent do we pay? We should have that as a flat line so we can understand what the rent is.
Yeah, our rent is about $1,000.
Okay. We pay $1,000.
We pay actually. So our rent is like $1,400 now, actually. But last month it was about $1,000. Yeah, this month and on. After we got the more warehouse space, our rent's about $400 a month, or $1,400 a month.
Such a predicament too. It's like we want to like bring in more members, so then like, fuck, do we want to bring in more members? That's more of a code.
Yes, no, we do. We can and we should.
I'm saying that. I'm just saying that like we're not going to be coming in like.
Also classes.
But yeah, I haven't really spoke about it recently, but like I adamantly want to teach a class here. Like
I would love that.
I would too.
And it could be digital too. Like
Yeah.
So with that room downstairs, hopefully that'll just always be set up, and people are just encouraged to use that space for that.
Yeah. Okay. We got. I don't know. What are we gonna do about there being a computer there? That's the first thing we gotta worry about. Is like, what are we gonna do?
We'll figure it out.
Can we like?
So we're gonna have a calendar where people can block out time for that room.
Right. I'm just saying like, could we maybe this is more of a thing that maybe like have some sort of I don't know remote keyboard monitor setup that's connected to the server and use that as a computer or like.
I don't. This is not a right now issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just go. I'm just gonna continue talking about our basic finances. So, in case anyone wasn't aware, basically, so Hedron membership and like consumables and stuff only pays about a third to half of the rent in a given month. Now that's going to get even lower because we have more rent. And then I have been paying the rest out of pocket through unemployment and odd jobs that I do through the shop. And then I do work through the shop for the shop, like quite often too. Like someone will come in and want some LED project. I just have all that money go straight to the shop, but basically that's out of pocket from me as an employee of Hedron.
Right.
But more often, it's just been my unemployment paying for Hedron's rent,
Crazy.
which is a lot of money. Like,
Yeah.
so
I mean, yeah, that money should not be going to get it. It should be going to you. That's what it's for. I mean, it's not.
You just put his life and soul into it.
Exactly. That should,
and
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I just jumped in. Cool.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
well, let me just finish talking, okay? And then, so like I very much want Hedron to be self-sustaining in itself, and I want everyone involved to have the decision-making power, and it's very much I don't want to be the dictator. I want to move away from that as much as possible, and a lot of that is people need to take more initiative, like Hal has, and just like been incredible and whipped a bunch of shit.
Corner, do this.
And like instead of me like focusing more on our like payment system and like other stuff that would like help us bring in money or whatever, like quite often I'm cleaning people's messes instead, or building out whatever needs built out because our space isn't functioning. So like the more everyone pulls their energy in and adds to the space, the more successful we'll be, and and the less everyone's going to rely on me. Like, and also like, the more people take an interest to learning a given tool, like the CNC router, for instance, and especially, like I want to train people on that tool so much, so that it's not just me who can run it. It's not just me who can teach people how to use it. I would love it if all the facilitators knew how to weld, knew how to run the CNC router, knew how to laser cut, knew how to 3D print, and could teach others how to do all those things. If I'm able to train everyone to do all those things, I would fucking love that. And that means the less everything is going to rely on me. Because that's not what I want. Like, ideally, I could just disappear, and the space would keep on going.
Yeah.
And like anyone involved could disappear, and the space would keep on going.
Yeah.
That should be like
That's your dream.
well, that's like that's a most basic goal of any community space, of any collective. Like,
That's the point.
Okay, so should we focus on how to get new members? Like,
We are.
this whole meeting is kind of about that in a way. It's like, if we have a safe space and we have work tables that people can use.
Yeah. That are cleaning off every morning.
We need to get into that sort of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking more like not just general stuff. I mean, like actually like narrowing down on like, you know, how do we get more members? What
Yeah,
is
like outreach and stuff.
something- yeah, like exactly. Like, what is something that we can do where we put ourselves out there?
We're currently working on getting partnered
Well, that's,
with.
so
Yeah,
it's like
that's
this is a separate thing though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean, is it though? Because
Yeah,
it's
it's completely different.
topic.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, we're discussing
What's expected of members?
what's expected of members. And then new members or how to bring in new members, sort of discussion.
Yeah.
But I don't know, in terms of like what you're saying, if somebody's interested in tools, like writing something,
Mhm.
getting trained,
Yeah.
and being able to run it and be able to teach people. I mean, I've noticed like people begin to then create work for themselves, and actual jobs are just like little projects that they get paid to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is that's another bonus,
Yeah.
unexpected. But
Yeah.
At the same time, it's
And there's work I can easily pass off to people too. Like, it's like, so the Hedron email is where it gets like a couple emails a month, like inquiring for work, and all.
what team that work makes sense.
So yeah, so like someone wants something laser cut, or someone wants something CNC cut, or they're it's a lot of those, or someone wants something fabricated or welded. I always try and pass that off to anyone with the given skills, but quite often the people don't have the skills, and the few people that do aren't willing to do the job. So I pretty much pick up all the jobs and then just do that work for Hedron and give all that money to Hedron. And it would be awesome if we did it more often, where people were picking up that work and giving Hedron a split and taking their own.
Yeah.
Which we do like commonly, but like quite often the work I just end up doing all the work because no one else.
Follows back to like having a goal, like having a reason you're here, because then everything is always moving forward. So if we're just chilling in the den, I mean, that's fine, it's cool, it's fun or whatever, but that's not the point of the space. And also, like you've been saying, it takes money to run this place, like we all know that, so don't waste it, otherwise it will eventually, we will run out of,
Yeah, my unemployment is out.
oh, well, look at, my damn, look at that.
Yeah, I think I can reapply and like other stuff, and we can try and apply for grants, but like,
So how much is rent and how much?
1,400.
yeah, total bill is like $1,500 a month.
Because we also pay for electricity.
Status spreadsheet.
Do we pay bills here? Like, do we pay electricity?
That's all included on rent, but we have like the website fees. There's meetup.com. Fucking worst organization ever. They have not been lenient at all during COVID.
Wait,
It is not a free service. It's like $20 a month or something.
What is it?
And we have like over 1,000 members, I think,
Oh, wow.
subscribe to it. And so I wasn't willing to just
Oh, yeah, no.
delete that because that's like we've gotten so much money from when we were doing classes through that. If we started doing online events through that, they would just get lit. They would if we post any online events on our meetup, they'll probably get filled right up. Like especially if we're more able to use Instagram and whatever other social media. If we start leveraging that better.
And that's back on having a usable space. So
And yeah, if
it's all just circled back. Like, we can't even use the space.
we don't even have our most basic shit set up, or like we're like our members aren't. Yeah, and until we get our shit figured out at home, we shouldn't be going into space. And so yeah, I'll see if I can reapply for unemployment. I think it was extended.
It was.
But I don't know. I'm not exactly certain if I definitely won't get it right away because unemployment offices are mega slow. But
Yeah, I'm still waiting for like a month out for my unemployment again. So
yeah, this the coming months, like we should get our shit figured out better.
So maybe how much time do you have? I mean, like, as far as like, so 1,500 a month.
Yeah, so currently in the account we have like $300-400, and then in cash we have $300. So
Can't even make this one.
yeah, so but that's normal because every month I usually pay out of my pocket a major portion of the rent.
Oh.
So that's it's not good, but that is
But that's like one member taking on the burden of
Yeah.
all the members.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like and one more thing to that, like I feel like some people have so I do leave stuff out on tables, and like I'm now that we're gonna be like really clear about things, I'm just not gonna do that anymore at all. But like in the past, I've treated that as, well, I'm renting this table out because I'm paying like
The rent for the
$600 to rent this table out so I can have my mess here. And I feel like people have taken that to mean, oh, it's just normal that people leave their shit out. And it's like, no, I left my stuff here because I'm paying $600 a month to have it here. So
$20 a day.
so yeah, I just want to be clear on that. And I like yeah. I totally don't. I'm totally happy. Like this is not. I don't care. Honestly, it's just money. It's just unemployment. It's like free money to me in a way. It's like easy come, easy go. It's not a big deal to me that my unemployment goes to this. Like I'm happy that this space exists. Like it's not. Yeah. The space definitely needs to be more sustainable, but it's not, I don't take it personally, and I have I don't have expectations other than members like do the things they agree to.
But I mean, like, once you no longer have employment, I mean, for instance, where it's like, we need to figure something out where we can sustain.
Yeah.
Because right now, if,
And now that I think about it, I would be willing to talk to my parents about like figuring out some way for me to be able to pay full membership if that's possible. I mean,
Yeah, honestly.
yeah, if it's possible, because okay, that is one of the if it's possible things because we're fucking struggling right now. I'll be honest, but like,
Yeah.
if
We
it's
can-
possible, I would be willing to like do a ton more work on the shit if I don't pay membership here. So
we should definitely figure that out if possible.
yeah, and then we can figure out maybe the trash hackers and this to put together
Yeah.
this that
Well,
class because Eric and I were talking about how like
no, this is one major draw to it also is like, as far as trash is collected goes, we've been able to, when making things into a product, these, so,
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it's like, if people from Hadrian want to learn, get trained on it, and can create their own stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they have, like, but it's like, that's one thing I want, to have a, maybe clear communication that we'll have to, get rules. to
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah, we gotta outline all that. It's like a whole different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get
Because
it.
like even within the collective, anybody who makes their own thing, you have to make your own thing, and then, and then you're selling your own thing, and part of the proceeds can go towards the collective, So that's something, I don't know, I think the key range looks like.
I think, well, technically, I think it could be tax write-off. If part of it goes to you, you get a big enough project, and then you donate part of it to Hedron.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Run all that as donations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah, that'd be a cool way to do that. I haven't.
free money.
Yeah, that sounds like a great way to write that.
That's like a,
write that down.
it's like a longer term thing.
Well, not even because I mean I gotta do last year's taxes.
We should do that.
Like how do you write those? Because like we do stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
no, we do a lot of stuff like that.
Like when you start purchasing, we have an Etsy already.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The shop has an Etsy. If anyone has stuff they want to sell on.
Yeah, I
Etsy.
wanted to do take all those old server CPUs that are like,
Oh,
not even
we
worth
should
a
totally
pot.
do that.
Put a little hole, soften them up, make them real smooth, and
Heck
then
yeah.
put them on the sell them.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love that to.
Sell them for like 40 each.
Is there a SoundCloud or something?
SoundCloud, okay, you can't make money on SoundCloud.
Well, no, but I'm just thinking of sharing like,
You did that.
Hedron Records on Bandcamp. I fucking love that idea.
Yeah, because then people could use it on their Twitch
I mean, yeah,
or
it's just like,
copyright free music.
most of the time, if you're going through the online music route, you
Only
end up paying more than you make. That's the tough part about that, is that online music, I pay like, 400% more than I make. Something like that, it's crazy, like I make maybe $2 a month, and I pay like $60 a month.
A month? What?
What?
I
I
pay
pay year. Me for
What's that?
I don't know. That's a whole different.
I pay for DistroKid, I pay for SoundCloud, I pay for Extra on Spotify, I pay for Ableton, I have to pay for that. I have to start $400.
All right, that's the whole thing.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
So that was it.
That's all the points.
Yeah.
No, it's a spreadsheet.
Is a stream musician like I am. He puts all his stuff on Bandcamp, and he's talking to me about it. He tells me he really likes Bandcamp because there was one thing he makes more than he pays to it.
That's my objective. I used to have it, but they locked me out of it. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, that-
I didn't even forget. After I forgot the email.
One more thing I want to mention. Trash Hackers Collective is gonna pay for that floor space that they're using.
Oh, that's
So that'll be a small chunk off the 1,500.
yay, church neck.
Yeah.
Saving the day.
Yeah, and honestly, like that,
It's helpful.
we once we like get stuff up to and like train people on how to do art and how to make stuff out of plastic, like
That's more
basically
than
free
we
money.
need.
There's like you make a sheet this big in our new oven, you laser cut it and do a bunch of jewelry, and like boom, $200 per sheet, and you can make 4 sheets at once, and
That's beautiful.
that process takes less than like 40 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, no,
Yeah.
including laser cutting and stuff.
Well, no, just the melting of the sheets. Yeah.
We
But
could,
then
I mean, yeah.
I guess the side note too is like, so I've been having, for the past 3 years, I've been working with Protopasta, but we only have a limited amount of material too, so I guess be conscious of like, communicate with the judgment members as far as like, what material is available.
Can we melt more of that shit that's in that bin? Now we got all those little bottles with the caps and shit. We can use that, right?
Yeah, we can use that stuff. Shredding it is not. Shredding it takes time. So though, like if you're making your own products, either figure out
I would,
like basically paint and Chris, or figuring out something some agreement with someone,
That's fun shredding.
or shred the plastic yourself.
But the can't function out.
Yeah.
Shredding,
I'm not
and
doing
then,
that. So.
and then melting could take,
Yeah.
more than 30 minutes because it's like there's the, melting.
Depending on the thing.
Yeah. Starting with the.
We seen CD or something. Like, we seen CD alone.
Yeah. Yeah, to make injection molds. Yeah. Also,
By the right bit though, and that's gonna.
I bought a number of aluminum bits. Yeah, and then
Break the bit you bought. Bro.
yeah, definitely.
Fucking expensive as shit.
Well, I mean, I got cheaper ones.
Oh, you
They were straight from China.
Oh.
And then you mentioned how good pine was for injection molds, and I've done wood molds too. Like for injection molds, if you can figure out your shape, and yeah, wood and high heat spray paint I found works right when you have the right wood.
You don't even need that. You could just do at that temperature. You could just do lacquer, like 3 layers of lacquer.
I'm gonna go work on it.
Oh wait, before we go though, this isn't something I want to ask you to answer at all right now. This is just a self-reflection, but I want to ask everybody to ask himself like, how do I want to be a either space member? How do I want to participate in this space? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like something just to like be conscious of and like about. Yeah, I'm not asking for you to share.
Oh,
I kind of would like to be a facilitator, but I just don't know enough about a lot of the machines.
yeah,
Especially when it comes to like welding and stuff.
yeah. If you want to get involved, let's get you more involved.
All right.
Welding is that difficult flavors.
Yeah.
I picked it up pretty fast.
But there is a skill.
I'm
My brother went to school 2 years.
No, we yeah.
We'll post it on Discord.
I guess we're not done.
Come up with it.
It's what time it is.
4:20. Oh, 3:20. Wait, is it 4:20?
Yeah.
Oh, my computer. My computer's confused.
I don't even. It's not.
Yeah.
I only had one gun. That was yesterday.
What?
This is a bro only app.
Oh,
Not anymore.
Yeah.
You set the rules.
No.
Break your fucking legs. No, that's me. Don't do that. Just your hands. So you can't make. So sick.
So wait, nothing. There was, I think you mentioned weekly too.
Yeah, I think we should have another call or another group thing next week. Just to kind of catch up and see how we've done with cleaning the table and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Because that is a new thing that we're pushing. Same thing with masks.
We've said a number of times Thursdays are cleanup day, but then we've never once actually done it.
Well, now it's every night.
Well, there's that. Yeah, I mean that's always been the case. Like, especially pre-COVID, like every single night, I completely cleaned the entire shop.
Yeah, as I said, I'm going to be gone this next week. I'm leaving towards Seattle Thursday tomorrow, and I'll probably be gone for another week or so, and then I'll be back.
Yeah. So what day of the week is good for weekly meetings? What?
I think
What
Thursday,
time is
just
good for-
before we head out on Twitter.
Oh,
Want to do that?
on Thursdays?
Yeah.
Well, that's like prime working on project time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you don't do well shit.
Yeah. how are we going to be Hot Welds Bike Club if we have meetings?
Shit.
Well,
What about
Wellington is well we're meeting.
Talk about not being able to fucking hear.
It could be Wednesday evenings.
Mhm.
I don't know how people feel about Wednesday evenings. Like Dylan's going to be here.
Yeah.
I can make absolutely no fucking promises because I just am at random jobs all the time. But like, I will try. Also, I don't know if I'll need to be in it or whatever. I am hard.
Are you a Wednesday evening kind of guy?
Yeah, that works.
And then every month we'll do a big meeting on Discord and all that, but otherwise we just have a normal meeting where we're just up here and talking about stuff.
Yeah, it could be. Well, it could be on that same Wednesday evening, or I don't know if we should stagger it so that the big meeting is on a different day or not.
No, I think the big meeting should be every fourth Wednesday.
Yeah, so like the first Wednesday of the month or
Yeah.
first Wednesday.
Yeah.
First Wednesday at 4:20.
It's still too late. I think that's 2 o'clock was nice.
Well, Ray wasn't able to make. He had to call off work. Ray was working.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They came right around here.
Oh, no.
That's true.
Yeah, we gotta start like
You will.
getting some cool welly drops like what they've been doing. You know, make a fence for someone.
That's, dude, you know how fucking hard it is? Not the act of making the fence, getting clients for that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is getting clients and it's like
That's a whole nother thing.
We could do it.
Yeah, I just see Richard there being, you take my clients? And like, no, we're just making other people fences.
Nah, he gives us work that he's too busy to do or doesn't like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's work, but there's plenty of shit we could do ourselves too. Like,
Yeah, like the whole plastic.
that's crap. That's just us piggybacking off the fact that it's just not. Sorry, my keys on.
Should we like have another division that gets projects that the group can do?
We used to have a like a sales position.
We would need money.
Yeah.
I mean, it all just circles back to everything we just talked about today.
Yeah.
So just start doing shit.
Basically, keep the space all like chill and good, and then everything will work. Good meeting y'all. I got to
All right.
See you in a minute.
Somehow there's no so you're talk about local plastics and asking if they be willing to do like a partnership with you, and the leaders sell raw plastic, but they have storefronts for me. You get to partner with them. It's like the plastic from your local whatever. And you guys get the.
Only for the pasta and then it gets to and we have to really recall it. So it's just like really since I've been away until I mean like this person
Yeah. And also, they like the. And it's successful. Eventually, you get pretty big.
Yeah.
Plastic is always just rolling in money.
One problem is like
Yeah.
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 Obviously,
yeah.
I want to get out to the all that shit. Little more. Yeah, Eric, that oven. That's not.
Yeah, literally, just like, I mean, I really hate talking, I mean, you know, but absolutely not driven by money at all, like,
Oh,
but like, so it's like, to create a creative process, when you're making things, then eventually that can be a project, and like, more often than not, we can, so, whatever, but it's like, money comes in.
Yeah, if you're
Like, one guy gave us $1,000 to see back site, you know, it's like, you know, because we're working on
yeah,
things,
being like
getting priced out.
intrinsically fueled is like more valuable.
Yeah, so that's where it's like, I just like going to like, yeah, the creative process, and I'm like really excited, like, wait, like, you have this beautiful instinct
You're fucking great, right?
to like create things, so I'm just like coming up to you, or you're gonna like, And we'll be like, can I get your autograph? And then you'll be like, who are you?
Oh my god. If I ever get that time, bring me down.
Okay. Okay.
I'll bring it.
But like, so,
Don't play
in
for
terms of,
that.
like, projects,
Yeah.
yeah, there's constant projects. We get requests, like, to do workshops and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's just like, I haven't been back until just now.
Yeah. It's
But
hard.
like, what, yeah, it'll be, when, for sure.
Yeah. That's just like an idea. Just as far as like easy, like also like,
Yeah, I mean, I
it
think,
costs money to run things and we can just pump shit out 10 classics.
yeah, I mean, Nike reached out to me last year. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, but then I had to go away, so. And then Emma was here, like, trying to look at workshops. Yeah, people constantly are interested in this. Yeah, it's like, yeah,
Go.
get this shit going. With the gym?
Yeah.
Oh,
And technically, that's going to be, I mean, that's going to be how all the old sports.
yeah. Oh, this is what we need a photo booth, or photo, like,
Oh, I wanted that thing. You know, I was thinking it might fit.
taking photographs of just the process too. It's so important. But
Next
then
time
it's
you're
like-
at Costco, can you get one of those like one or
But
two
we
of
like,
those
we
nice
need to
products?
have that downstairs.
Yeah, just like the two or three
What, we
set.
need a new name for this
Right.
place.
Yeah.
They're at
We need to
Costco.
name all the
They're really
Yes.
high quality, really lightweight.
We can get that's one of the things we get the stencils when we make the stencils.
At least one. If they're expensive,
Put them on the floor and spread it out.
Yeah. Okay. The floor painting thing
yeah.
you're talking about is, who's shading that? Is Jonathan shading?
He said he can't work on stencil.
Just,
I'm a bit excited about it. But
Kyle mentioned, naming for space, which. It's like calling them
yeah, the
performance
CNC room.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
CNC room doesn't quite roll its own very well.
Maybe in the next meeting. Just go and say, hey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out how to get like quality lighting.
I don't think I should get any
Yeah,
of those.
LEDs are good. Or like RGBW LEDs, where you can have the full spectrum white and then also throw in different colors to change the scene.
Yeah, we could just get some of those studio ones. Like,
Yeah, they get lines.
Oh yeah.
If it's a cheap, also halogens are cheaper.
We have those big incandescent
Oh god.
monsters.
No, incandescents are great if you're just doing like, we're gonna have film for like half an hour, need like this.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, the key to the
That room doesn't cool down.
Exactly. It's so warm in there, which is like nice now.
It is nice now.
Right now, in the summertime, oh, it's so.
Yeah.
Like, don't even turn on the lights.
Yeah, I was imagining swapping all those bulbs with LED.
Yeah, we could just get this.
Nice ones. Yeah, my bulbs have very good. What's that?
I'm scared of that. Because like, great.
Oh, yeah.
That's.
We can go to Home Depot.
Oh, wow!
It's like Harbor Freight, but orange. And also they can sell propane.
Are they illegally not allowed to sell?
Harbor Freight can't, because it's a special license, and so they have cheap prices, they're like, it would cost too much.
I
Which is so funny, which is why they don't have like propane or butane or anything there, but they have the torch pits.
right.
Like you sell all the accessories to your oxyacetylene and welding, but you can't sell the gas. Yeah, always. Yes.
I'm gonna go get some food tomorrow. Does anyone have anything in mind that they'd like to see?
We just got so much food from the food drop.
In the fridge.
Oh, our set is too big. We're
Well, leave the lights.
You have good burritos in the fridge down there.
Oh, there's go check the chicken outside. There's probably no.
Oh, chicken, there was some chicken.
Didn't eat all.